Oui, I'm in the French AMX 1390. This is a Tier 8 light tank, and like most French lights, it is an incredibly fast, small-profiled autoloader. I love this tank. It's one of my favorite Tier 8s in the game. It's kind of like a Baguette Barrasque, where it's got a very high amount of clipping damage of over 600. The only difference is that the Barrasque is able to get out 600 of its damage in a matter of 2 seconds, where it takes the 1390 2.5 seconds for each of its shells, and it carries 3, so 5 seconds in total. The Barrasque does have its fair share of downsides, though. First of all, it's a medium, which means it does have worse camouflage while on move. It's got a worse power to weight ratio and a worse top speed overall. So the Barrasque is a bit slower, which makes sense because it is not a light tank. And the main thing about the 1390 is just how nippy it is. It's a tiny profile. It's basically the same size as a Tier 5 vehicle, but then it carries a 90mm that deals 225 damage every shell. 225 damage is average for, I would say, Tier 8 mediums, vehicles like the T95E2 that are pretty average on their alpha. It's definitely nothing big, but the fact that you can store 3 225 alpha shells is very solid. This tank's gun handling was also buffed, I would say about a year ago, and because of that, it's incredibly accurate on the move. And when you add that on with the fantastic penetration that it carries, there's really not a huge downside to this vehicle. And after the AMX 1375 was buffed and the Baguette 25T AP was buffed, almost all the tanks in the line are great. It's just the Tier 10 that's kind of left behind. Now, I actually love the Baguette at Tier 10. It's a fantastic vehicle for just doing its job, but it definitely feels very poor in engagements compared to, let's say, the Sheridan or the T100 LT, but that's just kind of how Tier 10 is nowadays. If your tank's a little bit old, it just gets left behind. Now, that was a perfect example of how solid the camouflage is on this vehicle. I was not only able to spot that Tiger 2, but then get away with shooting him and not even being detected. That's pretty impressive. Now we are going to drive away. Our 54E1, not sure if he's AFK. Don't care, not my problem. Goodbye. I'm going to push with the rest of the team over towards this side of the map. If that 1390 decides to push over here, well, maybe I'll get a clip in. But right now, that's not my biggest problem, as my 54E1 is gonna distract him long enough. So let me use my mobility speed. Alright, now we do know the Jagdtiger is in the back over here. I'm hoping that I'm not detected. I'm not. Look at that. The fantastic camouflage once again on this vehicle, just doing its job. And with that, we were able to dump around 500 hit points off of the Jagdtiger, back in the cover. I think he did miss us as well, but didn't matter. We already started reloading our clip at that point. So the 1390 is officially behind our 54E1. And what that means is I'm going to use my mobility to drive over towards this 54E1 and hopefully get a little bit of damage out. Come on, go, 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 go. I think he's got enough enough health to at least take another shell from that WZ, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to get one shell into you, one shell into you, and let's get one more. We can even pen an HE. Nice. All right. I'll take it. We were able to take about half of that 1390 off, which is good for me, because one more clip and I can easily clear that 1390. Alright, let's pretend like we're driving away, and then we can maybe head back. I'm a little cautious, obviously, because they do have vehicles like the WZ-120, but well, there's only really one way to find out what we're going to do here. Oop, there's the 1390 again. There's one shell into his tank. There's 2 shells, and with that max roll, goodbye. There you go. Nice clip from the 1390 doing its job once again. 10 more seconds, we're going to have our clip ready for the raking. And yeah, we're going to rake all of the hit points. So let's go over here. Hello, y'all. How are you doing, good sir? Let me load a premium shell onto you, and goodbye. There you go. Nice shot. Now we got like the WZ-120. Hello, goodbye. Now we just back up and reload again. Now, the bad news is our team is losing a lot of health, but the good news is that we've been doing our job pretty well here so far. If that WZ decides to rush me, that is fine, because it's got very bad gun depression, and we've got enough gun depression to shoot this spot here. So if this WZ does this, it's oh well, maybe if I decide to bounce my shell like that because I'm a poob, and that one too, poob again. But well, at least we get the final shell in. And if I'm going to play this smart, I'm going to back up from this WZ. We are much faster on reverse speed than overall, I think, his acceleration. So we can just keep backing up. But I will take fault. Those first 2 shells for me were 100% my fault. So it's all good though, because we can just reload and get a 1 shell into the WZ, and a 2 shells into the WZ, and let's even get a 3rd tracking shell, stopping him in his position, so then, again, we can just reload. Ooh, that's in the middle too. Alright, well, if I'm going to play this right, I think we still reload faster than this guy, but oh boy, I don't think we're going to out-reload his shell. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, our teammate saved me. Oh, yee. Okay. We got kind of lucky. I was hoping that if the WZ didn't ram me, we would have been completely fine, but I was just really hoping that the mill would not hit me. But there you go. Not a bad battle at all. 4,180 damage. And I mean, we're playing Blitz at 4 a.m. Oh, either way, we're playing Blitz at 4 a.m. So not all of my shells are going to be amazing tonight, but you can still see just how fun of a vehicle this is. Its gun is great, its mobility is fantastic, and sure, its DPM's not insane, but who cares? You don't need DPM to do your job in this vehicle. And there you go, a mastery as well. Definitely top on the team by almost, actually over double. Not bad at all. Alright, let's do one more battle and see if it goes just as well. Now, I don't think I actually fired a premium shell apart from that yo, just because I wanted to confirm the connection, but I very easily could have loaded premium on that WZ-120 and penetrated the entire upper plate, so that was just me being a little bit stingy there and not firing premium ammo. I don't even know why I didn't, because I'm sitting at over at least like 200 million credits, so it's pretty dumb that I didn't, but either way, that's just me used to my old tactics for my first 5 years in this game, where I was always trying to save credits. So what does their team have? They got a Baguette 46, they've got a Panther 2, and an FE4, or just not an FE4 201, just an FE 201. I don't know why. I always get the 4 stuck in my mind from the FE4 202. But as well, they got a Panther M10, kind of an interesting vehicle there. When it comes to tank destroyers, they got a Challenger, a Borsig, and an ISU. All of them being very lightly armored, but they do have pretty big alpha. And oh boy, would you look at that. My wonderful teammate. Are you just blind? Like, okay. Anyway, I can tell you who's going to be useless this battle. He is right next to me. Alright, well, we've spotted the Panther, and there is the Progetto. Let's get 1 shell into his track wheel, and let's go for a 2nd shell. Nice, and a boop. There you go. That's 3 shells into the Progetto, and that's just this tank being great again. Unfortunately, we did lose a T-34-100, but it's fine. See, my Chiri is also deciding to die, but that's fine with me, because he really wasn't much of a help to begin with anyway. Well, the Challenger's up top there. Let's poke it like this so we can get some shells into his tank. There you go. 1 nice tap into the Challenger. Poke again, and I'll get another shell into you. We also got the FE201 off to the side over here. So let's get 1 shell into the rear of that FE201. Nice. And our Chiri is basically dead. Let's get 1 shell into his tank, and let's try to leave before this becomes too late. I mean, I'm fine with losing 200 hit points from a Panther. He's not going to be able to get the 2nd shell in. Maybe he is, but I'm not super worried. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we're doing fine in this situation. We got the FE21 up top. There's 1 shell into his tank. There's 2 shells into his tank. And maybe we can penetrate a premium. Ah, rip. That is one of the downsides of APCR, is it has a very, very tricky time penetrating any super angled spots. But we're doing okay. We're already up on base cap, which is good news. We got the Panther 2 off to the side, and if this Panther does decide to shoot at my teammate, well, we'll get 1 shell in. Oh, that's a bit of a... Oh, that's why I missed, because I drove off the bridge like a poob. But it's all good. Let's get another shell into the rear of that Panther 2. At least we were able to take 400 hit points off of his vehicle. And now we're going to start backing up again. We do have a full health Smasher, which is good news, and that Smasher's pushing right onto that Panther 2 as well. So what we're going to do here is just reload my clip, and let's get a 1 shell into you, a 2 shells into you, and a 3! There you go. Unfortunately, my team is still taking L's. It's like every time I shoot somebody, my team says, nah, I don't want to win. Let's die. Like my Borsig driving into the front. Well, good news is that I'm still quite healthy. I've been able to conserve my hit points a majority of this battle, and, well, we know where the ISU is. Oh, there's the Panther, and there's the Challenger off to the side. Yes, look at that. Clearing the Challenger, exactly what we needed to have happen. And now I'm going to push onto the Panther. All right, well, let's head over here. We do have the ISU as well in mid, who I would much rather shoot. But, I don't really have much of a choice right now, so I'm just going to try and shoot this Panther M10 while I can. So, there's 1 shell into his tank, there is 2 shells into his tank, and obviously, let's get that 3rd shell. We lost 156 hit points to dump an entire clip, bringing what was a 700 health vehicle down to a 1-shot. This is just, again, this vehicle being amazing. I just love it. It's such a fun tank to play. These games are back-to-back. I haven't played any other games today in, I don't think Tier 8 at all, so it's just so fun to play a Tier 8 battle and have a game like this come out 2 in a row. So hello, Panther. Goodbye. I just thought I'd look at you a little bit before I killed you. Now, obviously, the Panther 2 is also going to be a very easy clear. The VK100 might be slow, but I am not. We just need to penetrate both of our shells. I'm going to load premium, and yeah, you're just not going to bounce this. Goodbye. There you go. Another 4,000 damage game, another mastery, and another amazing battle for the 1390. It's just a fantastic tank. If you understand how to use clippers, you'll do fine in this vehicle, and it's a tank that you should grind, honestly. I wouldn't even suggest to go for the tier 10. Just grind the tier 8 and enjoy it, because it's such a fun vehicle. I really wish the 13107 existed in Blitz. If you're unaware of what that is, imagine a 1390 hull at tier 10 with a Leopard gun instead of what is the 1390 gun. I think it'd be great, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist as of right now. But, man, what a fun tank. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it in the future, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.